3, 2, 1.
And hello, good day, good dag in the Viking tongue. And yes, I am Braggy, the son of Magnar. Yes, this is episode 15 of the Viking vlog.
Who would have thought it?
Yes, and I'm here with my very good friend and Viking.
Egil Thorsen, warrior, merchant, runecaster, storyteller. And...
Razael to all those that watch.
yeah, thanks for watching. Now, last week we had a riddle.
Yes, well, we'll do that further down the section.
Okay.
We've got to do the channel updates, what you've been doing
Right,
in the
well,
last
I'm
week.
holding a book. That's...
Yeah. Yeah, I'll hold it for you.
Now, go be places.
Alright then. So what have you been up to last week?
Went to the doctors about diabetes. Can't
Oh, right.
do the 5-2 diet.
You can't?
No, she says not to. And she's
Right.
incredibly cute, my doctor.
Alright.
She plays a card, she can
Woof
have me.
woof.
Woof woof indeed. So, nice one, National Health. We've done that. My sister came to call on me yesterday.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, well, you know, got to keep family ties going.
Well, of course you do.
What else have I done? Did me washing. And ironing.
Makes you think how the Vikings would have done their washing.
Well, they would have probably gone down to the stream and it's beat the washing. That's actually what got the dirt out.
Yes, the beating.
And in high class Viking houses they actually had irons, so they were made of glass,
Oh, really?
which makes you wonder why they call them irons, but there you go.
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah, they found in Denmark an iron and an ironing
So
board.
they'll be saying, I'm going to glass your clothing
Yeah,
instead of iron.
yeah. Well, as I say, I mean, we're not talking razor sharp creases, I'm sure, but at the same time it just goes to show that the Vikings really did take care of how they looked. Whether the Saxons had the same thing, I don't know. We've not found any evidence of that. So apart from that,
That's an interesting fact.
So how's things with you?
Yes, very good. You know, my father's settled down at home. Now he's back for the last 2 weeks. That's good. I've been reading more folk tales, trying to compile a list of folk tales I'm going to tell later and make some notes.
Well, I've done a couple of sagas. I
Yeah,
forgot to
you got-
mention that.
Egil's been learning a couple of sagas for you, so hopefully today we will have them recorded and you'll see them in the next couple of weeks and the gaps we've got in the content. So that's great.
Woof woof.
Yeah, and no doubt some of these folk tales I'm making notes for them and Egil can tell his own version of them. Because as you know, my versions are more serious. I go for more of the Turkey approach, where you go for more the comical approach, but people really, really love that.
Well, it's learning through fun.
Yes.
Thing I find, well, I'm not saying annoying, but difficult, is the Vikings had these lists of things, you know.
Big names.
Big names, and they've got lists of things, and it puts me to sleep, so never mind what it does to a listener, but I like to have a bit of fun, and I hope you do too, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's all fantastic. And I think the main thing about YouTube is having fun. I mean, a lot of people do get focused on the money. You should never focus on the money.
No.
You should just focus on the content and this fantastic journey we're on. And it is a fantastic journey.
We're trying to teach people
Yes.
things, but doing it in a way that it's accessible to them.
Well, of course so.
I mean, it's like I was told at university, and I believed it beforehand, that history belongs to you.
Yes.
Not just a few people in tweed coats or called Kevin who live with their mother or whatever.
Smoke a pipe.
It's, oh yes, good pipe smoker. I smoke a pipe. But having said that, you know, it should be accessible to everyone.
It should be.
Yeah. And it's up to you whether you want to do it or not, but you have the right to have access to it.
Yeah. I've been sewing up some leg bindings.
All
so
right.
I'm at the first stage of patching the leg bindings. The leg bindings I'm working on are full of holes. So they're
Yeah.
going to be multicoloured with different fabrics on.
Yeah,
So
that's
a bit
why
like Egil's.
yeah.
I don't think you'll see them that far down. So I've been working on that. I started on another hat. I've been looking on eBay for more books to buy.
Yeah,
So we may have something later on.
like Egil's Saga, hint,
Yes.
hint, hint.
Yeah, you do need a copy of Egil's Saga, don't
Would be
you?
useful, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so as soon as he gets a copy, we can start producing and telling it.
Mm.
I've not started yet recording the Volsung Saga. I pretty much know the first 3 chapters, but I just found it a bit hard this week to concentrate to get out there. And
Yeah.
some days you've got to have that willpower to actually get out and record. And Some
and
days
actually
you're
do
just a
it.
bit too tired, you know.
Well, you've been up half the night with
Well,
your dad and things like that.
When,
So.
when you're a carer, you know, you have to do these things. You have to get up, you know. And it would have been the same in the Viking times. If your father's still alive and you lived in the longhouse together, you needed to get up. You needed to help him, don't you? They didn't have a sensor alarm, Matt. So that's it. That's what I've been working on. I've been updating some of the boards, so that's great. I've been replying to some comments. I've still got more comments to go through. I'm fairly certain to answer to.
We've got a few boards here.
One of our subs added me on Facebook. So hello, that's Tom. So,
Hi. Oh, Tom Dale.
Tom Dale, yeah. He wants to write some articles to some magazines on our behalf and basically spread the word.
Well, his dad painted the Viking picture I've got in my house.
Did he?
Yeah, the print of it.
Oh, we'll have a chat later on. So yeah, I'm all up for that. You know, I'll chat with Egon about it a bit further. So yeah, so that's good. We're not filming nothing yet today, so this is the first video we've done today. It has been a bit difficult last 2 weeks. Various things, Egon's been busy, haven't you? You've been waiting for to have a meter fitted. And
meters fitted.
that's a saga on its own, isn't it?
Go to doctors. Yeah, they. It's amazing when builders don't turn up, and they virtually accuse you of being at fault. Even though I waited in all day, I wasted a day when I could have been here filming, and it was probably the hottest day of the week as well.
Yeah, well, we're kind of glad we didn't film that day. It was too hot.
Well, you see, my flat is basically a concrete box.
Yes.
Hot days are really hot, cold days are really cold. So, you know.
Makes you think, you know, there's a Viking, so no, it's too hot to go and do anything today. You can see that.
Well, Viking houses, like roundhouses, are fantastic in that on a day like today you feel quite warm and pleasant. Even when there's snow out, if you be in hot days, you're cool.
So, like a Saxon house, which they would naturally build a pit underneath to trap the cold air, would the Vikings do that?
The Vikings usually, because they were in colder climates, they had turf houses. The walls themselves were actually cut turfs.
Yes.
And they laid them like bricks. Then you had turf roofs, and that.
There'd be a wooden frame inside.
Oh yeah, yeah. But to look at it, it's very hard to see because they're basically like hills. They've done reproductions of it in Scandinavia.
Yes, nice.
And I think in Iceland as well.
And in Newfoundland.
Yeah, yeah, Larsa Meadows.
Yes. Well, we might talk about that in another video.
Yeah.
Would you like to see that in a vlog? Let us know.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, this kind of way you work with the elements rather than against them like we do.
Yes, and as you noticed, we are actually indoors today.
Yeah.
So I don't need to elevate my voice so loudly.
Well, there's a blessing for us, isn't
Yes,
it?
I'm not going to deafen you.
Pardon!
So, well, that's that. Video ideas. Well, we're going to talk about a little bit later on, as we're going to do a little bit of a behind the scenes section with our boards we work on. I won't be showing you around the house, but we're just going to show you the boards to give you an idea that, yes, when you give us an idea, if someone says, like the other day, can you talk about armour and how to put it on? Although we don't wear armour in the traditional sense of armour, it's mail and it's gambesons and it's jerkins, but we can certainly demonstrate that, and that's down on the list.
And in case you're wondering, it's always water we're drinking.
Yes. You know, and you know we are a family friendly content channel. Although I don't think we have many children watching us yet, so we're probably not being discovered enough.
Well, the main thing is talking dries you out.
It does dry you out.
And water is the best thing.
Yes,
so
and you want some more? Cheers.
Wassail.
Wassail indeed. And also wassail to Thorbert, a very good Viking, a Saxon friend of ours.
Whoa.
If you never called him a Viking, you'll be mostly insulted.
Nearly put your foot in it.
Yeah, I nearly did. I should edit that one out, really.
Well, the strange irony is, although I play a Viking, my ancestors were definitely Saxons.
Yeah. I know we both love the Vikings, but I think we equally love the Saxons. So. Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do.
I mean, there's no real difference between the both. Really?
We'll probably find that we're all a mixture of whoever rode through the village at the time.
Well, of course so, yes.
You know, I think people will be surprised actually when they do the DNA that you've got Chinese, you've got Asian in general.
Oh, there'd be a white mix, Mongol.
The rule of thumb is if you've got blue eyes, you come from the Baltic area. Brown is more sort
Well,
of...
I've got club toes, it's an indication of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I'm not going to get about on camera right now, but I do have club toes on the outside. It's what I've had all my life.
Oh, well.
It's a Viking trait.
Well, also, I've got an extra set of ribs.
Have you?
Yeah, down
Oh.
lower part, I can feel the ribs, and it's wider than normal ribs.
Oh, so
on my breastbone, there's a lump.
that's quite a controversial thing, you know, about the extra rib.
Yeah.
Because they had this extra rib they always talked about, but it's been removed from history, the extra rib.
Well, my sister's got an extra set of ribs. My mum did, and I assume it comes from the Branscombe side of the family of ours. Whether my brothers have, I don't know. It's not the sort of thing you ask them, but
No.
it did come up in conversation. But it's just, if you feel through the fat, you can actually feel it. Now back,
Oh, yeah.
a bit lower down.
Yeah. I don't often prod Eggle. Prodding Eggle.
I only did that because I like the touch.
Oh, yeah, I got a nice touch.
But
Anyway.
did you feel the extra rib?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
We'll have to count them properly one day on camera.
Matron.
I like spare rib as well.
Yeah. That used to be a magazine, feminist magazine. A friend of mine actually wrote for it. I don't know if it's still going, Spare Rib. Maybe
Never
you
heard
can
of
tell
it.
us. Oh, it's a feminist magazine. And the next thing.
So we was going to talk about folklore week, but I'm not prepared. But Eggle can, so we're going to talk about elves.
Elves, they figure in the Norse religion. You have two types of elves. You have the white elves or light elves, and these are the ones who, let's just say, are goodies and are helpful. And the dark elves. The dark elves are, got to be a bit careful with them.
Not so friendly.
It depends on what you're about and what they're about, but treat them with respect, and if possible, unless you absolutely got to, don't just walk on by. It's like dealing with Loki. You've got to be aware of what's going on, and people think of that Loki or the Dark Elves as being horrible, nasty people. They're not. The most charming people you ever met.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are.
Because that's how they lure you to make it.
We know
mistakes.
more from the Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I got drunk with the Dark Elves.
Good.
Oh yeah.
I was playing a game last night called Skyrim. I used to play it on the older version. I currently bought the new version, and that's got dark elves and light elves in. I was thinking about that last night. It might be one of those games I might stream if we ever do the Viking gaming channel where just as a Viking game.
A lot of these games are actually based on historical fact.
Skyrim is.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed is
Yes.
another one that's very loosely.
I'm a Nord in Skyrim. Always choose to be a Nord. I was very close to becoming a Briton, but I thought no, I can't become a Briton. I have to become a Nord.
Yes, getting back to the planet Earth.
Yes, that's gaming.
Yeah.
I'm a gamer.
I'm not.
No, when's the last time you played a computer game?
Never. Oh, hang on, no. Do you remember that tank game we did when we were over at Menel's place?
Oh, yeah.
I actually ran over an anti-tank thing. And
That
got
was
blown up.
Midland.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
That was that's the first and only time I've ever played a game.
my old friend Midland Rose, he used to love playing
If you're out there,
games. I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's out there or not.
it might be.
I hate it when you don't know whether a friend's alive or not.
He was a good lad, mate.
But he was a good lad. And if you are watching Midland one day, hello and have a beer from me.
And may the gods smile on you, because if anybody deserved it, he did.
Oh yes, he was a hedge rich, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, very talented man. So yes,
That was a conversation stopper, wasn't it?
it was a bit of a conversation stopper. So any more on the elves? I'm not really prepared yet.
That's all we've got off the top of my head. I'll do a bit more research and get back to you on
Yeah,
that one.
it's a feature I want to bring into the vlog, but I always struggle to get the time to actually do the research, and I've got too many things I'm researching at the moment.
To be also, I mean, this is not just it's to get us all of you in contact with the folklore of this country and
Well,
the
you're
world.
Well, yes.
This is one reason I love Jethro Tull music, because there's so many references in there. Nice one, Ian Anderson, if you're out there, big fan. But you know, the elves, Jack and the Greens, all these other creatures which our ancestors knew.
I've just been reading about the Nessie. and the Nessie is a bit like a gnome creature.
Mm.
That's the Norwegian name for it. In Sweden they call it the tomte. But we all know it typically as a gnome or a leprechaun in Ireland.
No, I was told stands for Guardian of Mother Earth. I don't know whether that's relevant or not, but
Yeah, I've heard that before. I think that's just a coincidence.
Mm.
It would be interesting to know where that word gnome came from.
Well, they were seen as guardians that looked after your gardens, and you put honey and milk out for them. And if you don't, then they turn into what was it? The story I did.
Well, a boggart.
Boggart, that's the one.
Yes. Or a boggart or a bugbear. They have many names. That's one of the confusing factors of folklore, is that a lot of these creatures do have many names.
Well, it's where you haven't got this communication like we have today. It could change from village to village, like the Norse faith.
Well, of course so.
You know,
And
so-
like the language and
Yeah.
the runes.
Well, this is where we get so many accents in this country. And I mean, let's face it, America has very different accents.
Well, it does, yes.
You know, you go to the south, it's you know, they've got one accent. You go to New York, you're talking like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can't do accents. You're good at accents.
Well, it's a habit I've gotten into.
Yeah.
But you know, American once said to me, he says, when an Englishman does an impression of an American, it's like a travelogue through the States. It's the same with Irish as well, Northern Irish and Southern Irish.
Well, of course so. Vastly different accents. And a lovely country, indeed.
Southern Ireland I've been to, and I went to Closmacnoise, the beaches of, I can't remember it, it's Connemara. And it's beautiful country, but tip, if you go to Ireland, take it easy. Go at their speed. They operate on a manana, you know, and if you hurry them up, you're gonna come to grief.
I once stayed with a friend's family in Ireland,
Mm.
and they live not far from Dublin, in a little village. So I was there, it was a Saturday, and I said, "Oh, I said, will you go out and get some coal from the pub?" I said, "What else with coal?" And, you know, you think, pub coal. So I went in and said, "I'm from the what's the name family, they want some coal." I said, "Oh, sit down, here's a pint of Guinness."
Well,
And you know, you drink your Guinness, you get another Guinness while you're waiting for your coal to be sorted. And then he says, "It's your turn to sing a song, you know." So I had to sing a song.
well,
So that was funny.
I remember when we were in, I can't
lovely
remember where
place.
it was, but the supermarket, they'd knocked a hole literally from the pub next door, and there's this woman with her shopping, with a pint of Guinness, and I thought, you are such a civilised country. And I wanted an ice cream, so of course I went to the blacksmith shop.
Cool, naturally.
But yeah, it's a lovely place, and I recommend it for anyone. And it's so beautiful out there, and the people are nice. Like anywhere else, treat them right, they treat you right.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Wales.
Yes.
South Wales, it's really nice as well.
Wales is another lovely country.
Lovely people.
Very much like Derbyshire, very hilly. It's not a bit more hilly, to be fair to the Welsh.
Yeah. Well, that's their country, and it's rightly they're proud of it.
Indeed. And perhaps one day we might talk about Wales and Scotland and Ireland individually in a video or vlog.
And if you're out there and you want to go somewhere, you could do worse than come to Derbyshire,
Oh,
Wales,
yes,
or
Derbyshire.
Ireland.
God's country, what they call it, don't they?
Well, I'm from Kent, and that's what they call it down there anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think they call it everywhere. Let's do the riddle now before we do the Battle
Okay.
of Stamford Bridge.
Riddle 52.
Want me to read it for you?
Yeah, keep your place.
Keep the
'cause
pages.
he's going to read it because I can't see past the end of my nose. without-
I saw a couple of violent captives carried in under the roof of the hill. They were known by the same name, tightly reined, fettered together. Close to one stood a dark Welshman, a slave to oversee the prisoners' movement.
And the answer to that is, it's a flail. Flail
Flail.
being a long stick with a chain link in the middle, and you thrash the grain to knock the corn bits off with that you make the bread
I
with.
never would have guessed that from that.
No, well, we've got another teaser for
And I
you.
don't think anybody actually got that right. I know one or two people guessed.
Well, I mean, some of these
It
are
was difficult.
some of these are very easy. Some of them are so obscure. That's why we have to look through them because there are references that we don't understand. And of course we've got to say the magic word.
What?
Onion!
Onion! No! Don't!
Which is in there.
Yes.
Okay, so...
One day you'll have that. Just before I do the next one, if you do want to submit your own Viking theme viddle, whiddle, not a viddle,
A riddle?
Yeah, I don't know what a fiddle is. A whiddle.
A lady speaker.
No, don't go into that again. I've got an update on that.
Oh, right.
Please submit your own, add me on Facebook and send me your riddle, your answer, and perhaps we may read them out in the future when we start running out. So you'll take me starting to think about writing them. Anyway, we have a new riddle for this week.
Number 23.
Yes, thank you for saving me from saying that.
And that's from the Folio Society, Exeter Riddle book by Kevin Crossley Holland. We'd be lost without him.
We would be lost without him.
Hey Kevin, if you're out there, thanks a lot for all your research. Keep on doing it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 23. Wobb's my name. If you work it out, I'm a fair creature, fashioned for battle. When I bend and shoot a deadly shaft from my stomach, I desire only to send that poison as far away as possible. When my lord, who derived that torment for me, releases my limbs, I become longer, and bent upon slaughter spit out that deadly poison I swallowed before. No man's parted easily from the object I describe. If he stuck by what flies from my stomach, he pays for its poison. With its strength, speedy atonement for his life. I'll serve no master when unstrung, only when I'm cunningly noticed. Now guess my name.
Well, answers on a postcard, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Or in a comment.
So, I hope you like that. I'm just going to put my book away.
Very good book.
Pretty book.
Yes.
That was given to me by my oath
Now,
brother.
is that the correct translation, or did Kevin Crossley do his own version?
I think you'll find that Mr. Crossley Holland has done an accurate translation.
I just want to think about copyright on that, that's all. You do think about these things.
Oh, well. I know his daughter was in the same college as mine at university. My saga book is signed by himself.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, the riddle book was given to me by my oath brother, Simon Batchelor of York. Alright then, Sir Batcho. Whether he watches this, I don't know.
Well, has he discovered the channel? I mean,
don't.
very few people have, really. I mean,
It's a long story.
we could be the most undiscovered channel on YouTube.
Well, spread the word.
Oh yes, spread the word. Tell your friends, your grandma, your dad, your brother, girlfriend, boyfriend,
Yeah.
anybody you know.
Even your pet dog.
Yeah,
Woof,
the
get
stranger down the road. Tell him about it. Especially taxi drivers. I tend to tell a lot of them about it.
out. What? Northworthy sagas and stories. We've heard them all in here, mate.
Oh yeah.
Queen Mother, the Nolans.
Now, before we talk about the Battle of Stamford Bridge, I'm going to bring back What's in Braggy's Bucket, as we did this last week. Give me my drinking vessel.
What are you
I love the
thinking
word
about,
vessel.
sir?
That wouldn't be a helmet.
There is a helmet. I've got to take the helmet out.
I was going to say.
Now, last week we had a mystery item. Is it in here? Boom. Here we are. Here we are. Found it. Now, I'm thinking about telling you this week, but I might just leave it for another week to let you guess further. Now, I know Cheetah, he said, well, is it a coin purse? Well, you could get a coin in there, but I think by the time you tied it off and you walked about, you would have lost your coin. So, nice guess. And I think somebody else guessed, is it for leather work? And in theory, yes, you could.
That makes sense.
You could use this for leather work.
I didn't know what it was till you told me.
But
Did you give the camera a finger then?
no, no, I'm just demonstrating how it fits on their finger.
Yeah.
No. So, one clue I will give you is that, well, this may not be a Viking or Dark Age item. So, I'll give you a bit more of an option. So, the next thing we've got in here is something for Eggle.
Oh! Packet of sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, lovely. It's a paper sandwich. Is it there? Top there.
Alright. This is exciting. I think I know what it is.
I bought this for him the other day as a thank you for the hard work and because I want to see this piece of work produced.
Oh, I know. This is Egil Saga.
I'll sign it for you later with my name.
Cheers. There you go.
That's not cheap. That's a good copy actually.
Yeah.
You could give me our copy.
Is this the Magnus Magnusson translation?
That'd be the penguin, I think.
Yeah, penguin. But yeah, this is the character Egil Skrimsson, or Egil the Bold, as you probably noticed.
Yeah.
He was my hero. He inspired me. He took my pagan name from him. And if you ever go to York,
Yes.
down the Shambles, underneath that is Eric Bloodaxe's palace, and this is where Egil was held captive and did the head poem, which I'm going to read out on a piece of paper because there's a lot to do.
Well, that's fair enough if you can't remember it all.
Oh, cheers for that. Thank you.
That's all right, my friend.
Yeah.
That'll
Put that down there on the pile.
I'm just very eager to see it being produced, because I love it. Egil Saga. It's one of my favourites.
It's one of the better ones, isn't it? And it's based on truth. He was actually, he fought at the Battle of Brownborough.
Yeah.
And Athelstan.
Yeah, we've got a video we've got to make on that.
Well, Athelstan was pals with Egil. But like you say, we'll cover that in a later day.
Yeah, what a dude I think he is.
Yeah, yeah. He was also a descent. Snorri Sturluson was his great-great-grandson. They were related. But yeah, anyway, let's just get back.
Yes. We are going to be filming a comments video in the next week. We didn't quite get one done this week. We've just been too busy to meet up.
Yeah.
So if you do have any more comments or any more questions you want to be included in the comments video, then please leave it in a comment.
Yeah.
And if you don't want your comment reading out, just please leave that in the comments and please don't read this out. But generally I will read out most comments. So
Well, we will get back to you. There's just, it sounds bragging, but it's true. We've got so many comments.
Yes.
That we have to do a separate thing now.
yeah, but we will bring it back
Keep
into the
doing
vlog.
it. Yeah, keep doing them.
I won't announce it. I'll just randomly bring it back at some point for a few occasions.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all good stuff. I like the comments videos.
Mm.
So it's another video we're going to do soon is a shout out video. So if you think of any channels we could shout out, or you can recommend, then please do so, because we want to talk about a few channels.
Mm.
One of them we're going to talk about is Jackson Crawford, because I really like his content, even though at times it can be very academic. But it's a great source for learning how to pronounce these names in the sagas.
Well, also, I think this is a good feed into it. You start with us and then go on to pick the more academic ones.
Well, of course so. We're more the easy watching people, easy eye candy, and I'm just the techno brain, whatever that is.
Yeah, well, basically,
Techno brain.
I have no idea about how all this works,
Yeah.
but I did a degree in archaeology and history, so a bit of it rubbed off.
Yeah, I'm an engineer, so
Yeah. Dr. James, you did a good job.
so let's talk about the Battle of Stamford Bridge.
Battle of Stamford Bridge. It's one of those deciders. It's fantastic. Harold Hadradi was one of the contenders for the English throne. Basically, set it out thumbnail sketch. You have Edward the Confessor, and he dies, and he knows there's going to be a trouble with the succession. Harold Godwinson said he was promised the throne. William the Conqueror, or Gwelem, was promised the throne, and Harold Hadradi reckoned he should be king. So you can only have one. As it transpired, Harold Godwinson became king and upset, shall we say, a little bit William, or William the Conqueror, and Harold Hadradi was not too happy about it. Of the major contenders, Harold Hadradi, or Harold Hardman, was the major threat. He came across with his ships, they attacked York and settled at Stamford Bridge. The weather was very much like it has been last week, very, very hot. Harold marched his guys from London, picking up his troops along the way. And actually at Stamford Bridge there was, if you imagine there's a river and bridges,
Yes.
half the Viking force literally was sunbathing, and the other half were in camp doing whatever you do in camp. And all of a sudden a load of angry Saxons appear, very hot and sweaty, so they had to get their troops across, and there was this one bridge, and you imagine you've got hundreds of warriors trying to get across on one bridge.
Yeah, possible.
And also you've got the Saxons trying to take that bridge. So a load of them got across as much as they could, and there was one Viking, a big tall guy with a Dane axe, and he stood in the middle of the bridge, and of course the Saxons were coming across, and they funneled them up so it's one at a time.
Yeah.
And he was killing them left, right and centre, which didn't do the Saxons' morale much good.
No, of course not.
Somebody came up with the idea. They put this guy in a barrel with a long spear, and they floated him under the bridge, and it said that he brocked him, which means his spear went straight up through the bridge, straight between this poor guy's legs, and killed him outright. I think death would be more preferable than wounding.
Oh yeah, well, he got a good seat in Valhalla.
But having said that, they then went through, and Haldrada had an arrow through his throat. One of the Godwinson brothers, I think it was
Tostig.
yeah, he was killed as well.
I played him once.
And an interesting thing, if you ever go to the Jorvik Centre, they have a skeleton of a guy 25, and that was taken from Rickel, and that's where the Viking ships were docked, at Rickel. Now, a thing they never go into, but in these kind of wars, you didn't take any prisoners. So you had the guys guarding the ships, the women and children, because they came along, because you never know, they might settle, they were all slaughtered. And if you look closely on the skeleton at Jorvik, there are little nicks. These are soft tissue trauma where the blade has caught the the bones. Sometimes wounds are very hard to notice. You've got to really, really look, because if you aim for that area, which is sensible, because your blade won't get stuck. Soft tissue trauma they call that, and it's also a very nasty way to die. It takes you about 3 days to die, but you're going to die. If you go between the ribs, the blade will catch on at least one rib as it goes in. If it's double-edged like a spear or sword, it'll catch on both, but they're not easy to notice. And one of the problems in archaeology we do have is identifying battle sites, because the bodies would be taken away after they've been plundered, or
Well, not at Battle of Hastings though.
well,
He
William the
left them there.
Conqueror actually left them out there, left the skeletons lying there.
Yeah, must have been a right side.
Oh yeah, well he did that deliberately to say, look, I have taken this, this is what
Yeah.
happens if you rebel against me.
Yet again, another example of Norman propaganda then, you could say.
Well, you see, this is one of the things that's, it's a bit misleading. We talk about Vikings and Normans, they're the same people. As you know,
Yes.
Rollo the Ganger was William the Conqueror's grandfather,
Yes,
who was a Viking.
he was a Viking, yes.
And basically the King of France got him to settle there because if you know, they would protect their lands as they see it and keep you safe.
This is very much how it happened in the Viking series.
Yeah. They said he was so big he couldn't ride a horse. Well, Viking horses were a bit like Shetland ponies. So if you are tall, you see your feet are scrabbling on the
Yeah.
ground. You see it actually in Kirk Douglas's film
Yeah,
when they're riding horses. That's before they got Arab blood, you know, where they got bigger and the eyes got a bit more bulgy. But yeah, the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Some of the survivors skedaddled back to Norway. The others probably got the chance to fight for Harold, and then they got slaughtered at Senlac Ridge, or Hastings.
yes, it's a pity they didn't make peace beforehand and went to fight the Normans, but hey ho, that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, it depends on your viewpoint. I mean, the Normans actually brought us into the centre of Europe instead of the periphery, so what if my auntie had a beard, she'd be my uncle, but she hasn't, so yeah.
I never met your auntie.
Oh no. She looked a bit like
My
Charles
auntie was round
Hawtrey.
in the week, Auntie Jill.
Yeah. Well, my auntie looked like Charles Hawtrey out of the Carry On film.
Oh, right. So it was a very important battle then, the Stamford Bridge battle.
Yeah, because they actually took out the major contender, which was Harold Hadradi. He was actually in the Varangian Guard, which is like the SAS, Green Berets.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them in the future.
But I think he got thrown out because he was too hard.
Oh, right.
That's something.
What a dude.
Yeah, and he was about 59 years old.
They're very old then.
Yeah, for
Very
Viking
old.
age.
And was it one of the most important battles in English history? Trying to get the word out there.
Yeah, it was in the sense that, yeah, he defeated a if Hastings hadn't taken place, that would have been a battle that he would have been remembered for. But the problem he had, instead of taking his time going down south and isolating William, he rushed like crazy.
Yes.
And he picked up anybody and everybody who could hold a stick even. And of course that told on him later, but who knows the mindsets of
Yes,
people.
I couldn't really imagine walking that far.
Well, you're going on average, say, 40 miles a day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've walked 20 miles in a day with a backpack on. I thought my left buttock was going to implode.
I think it kind of demonstrates how fit people were in those days, and we really are very soft these days, the modern, human being.
Even up to present day, I had to read D.H. Lawrence, and that was a pity. And they were talking about a Sunday walk from Ilkeston to Ripley. Well, that's a good 10 miles.
Oh yeah.
And people thought nothing of that. And
Well, back when my dad was, a teenager, he used to regularly cycle to Skegness in a day and back. That's like 60 miles. Just to have a few hours by the beach.
well, me and my pal Anthony, we walked from Derby to Belper and Belper back, but we thought we were heroes doing that, but that's nothing compared to what...
Well, nothing compared to what these men did.
But different times.
Would they have lady followers following them? Would there be civilians following the army?
Quite possibly.
Or is that more of a modern thing?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
I know that women did follow, they're called camp followers, but maybe you took your wife with you because she didn't trust you with the locals.
Well, maybe so. Who's going to repel the men?
Well, I mean, you've got healers and things like that, and who's to say that women didn't fight?
Yeah.
Just because they're not portrayed on the Bayeux tapestry doesn't mean anything. I mean, I've got the tattoo of the Valkyrie, and they didn't just happen to appear.
No, there's got to be some myth behind that legend of the Valkyrie, which is probably lost at the moment in time. But it is a very interesting thought, and...
well, you've got to be pretty stupid to attack a woman with children.
Well, yeah, really, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was fighting at York, this woman with an axe, she was brilliant. I was using a 9-foot spear, and I was using the shield wall as my shield. She was doing the same with an axe, and you got the newbies who was getting a bit out of line. She just leaned over, tap. She did about 5 like that, and I was trying to get her. She kept going,
There are some very good lady fighters out there in societies.
I think we're missing a bit. Well, I'm not in a real outlet society.
Well, neither of us are really.
I think they're missing out on a great pool of ingenuity, because women fight with their brains, not brawn.
Well, of course so, yes.
And some of them are really good. So, yeah. So, Stamford Bridge, there we go.
That's a little, snippet of talk about Stamford Bridge, and no doubt we're going to make a video on that alone, because I think we could talk about Stamford Bridge for 20 minutes easily. Yeah. And by that time I might have done some more research and got some more information for you guys.
It was a very important battle. Yeah, it was a very important battle. But, no, was it behind the scenes?
Well, we're going to do a behind the scenes talk, and we're going to demonstrate what we use. The first thing we're going to show you is the flog board. This is something you won't often see. So what we have here, what's underneath the camera, is just our flog board. And this is so that we know what we're talking about and in what order. Theoretically. We also blow the line into other ideas for future vlogs. I tend to update this each week, so I'll be updating this for vlog 16 for next week. So that's the first one I'm showing you. That's just a flog board. So if you ever wondered why we do look down, it's because of that. And we also put a clock on there so we know how long we're actually recording for.
And let's be honest, some of the Sagas names, we put them there to remember them.
So we have another board over here. I bought some new boards recently. I bought 4 of these, about 20 quid. So these are basically the content idea. I've got some more to transfer over. I've got quite a few boards. There's another one there. And this is what we keep our ideas on, so we know exactly what we're working on. So that when you give us an idea, it will go onto one of these boards, and when we film it, it goes off.
Yeah.
So that's that one. I'll just go over and grab this one. I've got quite a few of them. So there are 2 more. These are the old boards I used to use. but I'm trying to move up to the bigger board because naturally what happens is
Well, we get more and more
you
ideas.
get more and more ideas. So this board is just for the folklore list, which I'm slowly developing. And then what I'll do from that is I'll create some notes which I can look at when I'm talking about it to refresh my mind. Because it's very difficult to try to remember all these things on top of your head.
Especially when you get to 63, your mind gets a bit slow.
If you're trying to be professional, you want to give you all the information we can and try to make it accurate if we can. As though we're both going to make mistakes. Here's another one. Which one's this one? Oh, this is the folk tales board. This is what some of the folk tales we're going to tell. It's probably got your name on there a few times.
Eggy Loki stories.
So,
yeah, good old
but that's
Loki.
basically the board we're working on. I've got some others, but I won't show you them. So that's how we keep our ideas going, and it's important that you do that because, you know,
Well, you come out with ideas and you can forget them.
you
just
can
as
forget
easily.
very easily. You can't just keep going back to the comments and looking at the comments for ideas. It's important that we do write them down. And you know, if someone says, you know, can you do this video? We will do it, but you just have to bear in mind that we already have quite a bit of content published and scheduled to go. So if, let's say, this week we did the video on how to wear Viking mail, it probably won't be out for 5 or 6 weeks. So
well, we've got a couple, hopefully doing a
Yes.
couple of sagas today.
yes, we're going to do them next.
And
And I think if we get a chance, we might have a look at doing some combat at the end of this vlog, but we may not. So
it's a bit slippery out there.
yeah, we'll see what the ground conditions are like first of all, and we may do some more.
Well, this is something you've got to understand. Yeah, the combat we do, we've been doing it years, but also the thing is, you have to be aware of what you're fighting on. I mean, the soles of my shoes are smooth. You get on wet grass,
Yeah, mine are slightly better. I've got
and
studied.
it's not so much that you fall on your backside. It's that if you move like that and somebody can hit you with the blade quite unintentionally.
Well, I think it's winter. The ground's bad. Then there's no reason why we couldn't wear modern shoes, boots. I mean,
Even though
if you're doing combat training, you don't wear your normal shoes.
No.
You wear modern shoes because you don't wear them out. They're expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I need a couple of heel caps and these.
Yeah, I've got to sort that for
because
you.
it's folding over, but
They're doing time.
yeah. But I mean, you know, you look after my last shoes. I've still got them. They're going on 20 years old,
I've got my original shoes. Not very comfy.
but they look like Cornish pasties.
The heel plate's gone on them.
I never had one, but they're only about £8 when I bought them. Yeah, but that's something we can talk about later. Is what you need as kit for a Viking Reenactment Society.
Yes, just talking about combat. We had a comment the other day from, I can't remember his name without looking at my computer, it's not on at the moment. But you're talking about how we describe things as combat, and you're suggesting that maybe we should use melee or battle.
No, those melee is a Norman medieval term.
I mean,
We are battling.
well, we are battling, but I think we certainly will try to use the term battle in the title, and probably the term melee as well.
Well, melee is French, isn't
Yes,
it?
it's French Norman.
It's sort of high medieval period.
It is, it's slightly later for this period. I mean, combat, I think that'll be a much later word, naturally.
I can't see the problem there.
But when we do our fighting, we often call it as combat. It'll be a combat session.
It still hurts whether it's a melee battle
Yeah.
or whatever. But
Yeah, it can hurt at times. Now, the one thing we're not talking about is the goddess Freya, which is down.
Ah, Freya. Now, in the next saga that I'm telling, she's mentioned. Freya, she was always represented with a chariot pulled by cats.
Yes,
She's the goddess,
unnamed.
yeah, and she's goddess of sexuality. She's also one of my spirit mothers. So shout out if you're watching Freya. And she is the mistress of a type of magic called Sith magic. Now, she taught Odin Sith magic, but it is a tradition in Norse mythology that Sith magic is for women. There are men who do it, and I mean Odin himself does it. However, it's people who tell me to do that, and I wouldn't say are dodgy, but at the same time, you're on your guard with a man who does Sith magic. But she is the high priestess of that. She's the woman you go to for relationships. She's an amazingly beautiful woman.
Very.
ash blonde hair, and she has the Brisingama necklace, which she slept with 7 dwarfs to get it. Whether that's where Snow White and the 7 dwarfs came
Yeah,
from.
that's a good point there.
Yeah. But she is a wise woman, and it's worth listening to what she has to say, because she gives knowledge. It's not in your face. You have to listen to what she actually says. And I speak with her quite a lot. My dead friend is one of the I speak to her. Is one of the handmaidens looking after the pussycats. And if the cat comes to you, stroke it. It'll soon tell you if it doesn't want you to. So she is the wife of Odin, one of them. As you'll see in the saga, she's not the Azir didn't look too kindly on her at first, because her brother Frey, Lord of the Forest, were the children of Njord's sister.
I thought Frigg was Odin's wife.
Gosh, that's another woman. He had more than one wife, did
Oh, right.
Man. Frigg is confused.
Fair
They
play.
usually conflate the two. I'm glad you brought it up, because Frigg is the goddess of housework,
Yes.
the goddess of the housewife, whereas Freya is more the goddess of your mistress.
Yes.
She's into sexuality. She's a wise woman. Don't dismiss her.
Oh no.
You know, people tend to sort of put her on the back burner, and they only think of Odin and Thor. But I mean, you name it. There's loads of gods and goddesses.
Well, it's nice to see these powerful women symbolism, you know, in this pantheon, which you don't always get.
It gives us an insight of, now we've got men and women, and men have to blend in with the women have to blend in with the men. There are men and there are women, and there are specific tasks each do. Not the tasks they perform aren't any more important than the other. You know, women were called peace weavers because they stopped people fighting. They were they taught the history to the children. You know, this is your granddad, this is your great grand, blah blah. They were also healers. The monks, the medieval monks, they were the ones who got the herbs and various methods off the wise women. They were the ones who ruled the house. If the housewife, having the 3 keys, if she said, do it, you did it. She checked everybody's spinning. Everybody had to do spinning, man or woman. Single women tended to do more, which is why they're called spinsters.
Oh, of course so, yes.
Yeah. But this is one of the things that I find amazing, is that women tend to be overshadowed.
Yes.
You know. So, Goddess Freya, as I say, fancy necklace. Sometimes she's sewn, instead of wearing the necklace, she's got a girdle.
Yes.
But the Brisingama, a beautiful, beautiful necklace. And one of the weird things is, you look at her, but you don't see her face. You know she's a handsome woman, but you don't see the face as
No.
such.
I mean, I always get the images from Arthur Rackham. You know, those are the kind of image of the goddesses I have.
I just see them.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
But
There's a brief talk on Freya. We are going to make individual videos on the gods as well, and we'll probably cover the Saxon gods as well, because I think they need talking about equally as much as
they're
the
pretty
Vikings.
much the same
But they are
thing,
the same.
whereas
different
Odin
name.
is called Wotan.
Yes.
There is various other ones.
I
like
just don't think we can
Saxnot.
neglect that.
No, no. I mean, you've got another god called Saxnot.
Yes.
We're not absolutely certain who this chap was, but I think there's an inscription on Hadrian's wall.
Yeah, I think there is. I read that somewhere.
But we'll do a bit more. I've got a book on Saxon religion.
Yes.
I've got a book on a lot of things.
Well, of course.
I thought I got a lot of books till I met this guy. I mean, he's got 2 or 3 times more than I have.
Well, no, I've got books that I've not seen for ages.
Same here.
But I love a good book, you know.
But if you look on our books, there's toolkits,
Yes.
like spanners. If you're doing mechanical work, you need wrenches and things
You
like
know, a
that.
lot of our books will be outdated now. They're not the most modern archaeological books out at the moment, you know.
But it's good to
they're classics.
reference it, and people say, why not use Wikipedia? Well, we do.
But Wikipedia does get it wrong.
Yeah, but if you could compare the two,
Yes.
you know, it's like having 2 or 3 opinions.
I mean, I do use Wikipedia. I do look for content from there, You know, it's a good, valuable source. So we're going to round up this vlog. If you do see some combat afterwards, that's a bonus. But if you do not, well, don't worry.
We'll do it another day.
Yes.
I think that's probably preferable.
This is about a 50-minute to an hour video, so
Okay.
we don't make it too long, do we?
No.
And we also got other things we need to film. So for me, it's a goodbye until the next vlog, vlog 16. And this will be out either on the Sunday or the Monday, depending how fast I can edit the video
And my horn's falling
and
apart.
how fast it takes to render the video, upload the video, and then put all the information on YouTube. Takes a while. So Wassail, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
You're awesome. And don't forget to leave us your comments. Goodbye.
Bye. It's empty.